Hi everyone, I'm Sonsire Gonzalez, Realtor in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. If you clicked on this video, it is because you're considering Port St. Lucie as a place to live in Florida. And that is wonderful. So if you're thinking of moving here, you want to know the good and the bad before making your final decision. The best thing I can recommend is that you visit and spend maybe a week here, or if all you can spend is a weekend, talk to me and I will give you all the great places to visit, what to see, what to do, what to eat when you're here, so that you can get a feel for why this place is so amazing. But in this video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons. And I got to tell you, I love living here. So I have 11 pros and I have 4 cons that I could think of. I'm sure in the comments section you guys could think of a lot more pros and a lot more cons than I did, but like I said, came from Miami in 2003. I hated it here at first. I thought it was so boring, but it's come a long way. My outlook in life has changed and I absolutely love living here. So let's get right to the 11 reasons why I think and why a lot of people think that Port St. Lucie is an amazing place to live. And I'm going to include articles that support the information that I'm going to tell you, just so that you can go and do your own research. Do your own research and see that I'm not just saying all of this because I want you to book my free new construction home tour and come build new construction with me, okay? There's actual factual reasons why Port St. Lucie is such a great place to live. It baffles me that a lot of realtors on YouTube are making crazy headlines like, why is everyone leaving Port St. Lucie? Oh my gosh. And that is simply not true. I just messed up my own hair. That is simply not true. People come and go for different reasons. It doesn't matter what city it is. People come and they go. People move in, people move out. That's normal. There's no mass exodus leaving Port St. Lucie, so I don't want you to worry about that. I want you to listen to the 11 pros that I'm going to give you in this video. I'm going to back it up with articles from the web, and you make your own decision. Do your own research. Just trust me, Port St. Lucie is an amazing place to live. I'm going to give you the ugly things also at the end. 4 cons that I was able to think of. 4 major cons that you might want to consider before you make your decision. Let's get right to it. Number 1 is Port St. Lucie is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire nation. Actually, it is the 5th fastest growing city in the entire nation in the United States. Do you know how many cities there are in the United States? I Googled it. 19,500 cities in the United States. That's a lot of cities. And we are the 5th fastest growing city. It's got to be for a reason. I mean, great minds think alike. Why are people flocking to Florida? Why are people moving here? Why is it the 5th fastest growing city? It's got to be for good reason. And it's going to be for the reasons of some of the pros that I'm going to give you. Number 2, our amazing weather. Port St. Lucie, it's not perfect, but we have really great weather. Weather that makes us feel happy most days, because most days is the sun is shining and it's beautiful and bright out and it's just really pleasant. The weather fluctuates from 55 degrees to about 89 degrees. Rarely does it go below 55 degrees. And if it's anywhere near that, it's only for like a few days in the winter and then it's gone. Actually, sometimes it's just for a few hours in the winter and then it's gone. By the time it's like noon, it's not even cold anymore. So that's how the cold works here in Port St. Lucie. 89 degrees is what I saw on the web. I don't think that's actual. I think it gets a lot hotter than 89 degrees, especially in the summer. I've seen some crazy temperatures in my car. So yes, in the summertime, be prepared because it does get hot. I don't think 89 degrees is accurate. It might be the average, but I've seen my car give me some crazy numbers in the summertime. But there's ways that you can protect yourself from that. You know, what we do is before we turn off the car and turn off the AC, we have everything in hand and we're ready to go and run indoors, whether we're going shopping or, you know, going into our house or whatever. You've got to make the move fast because your car will get hot really, really fast. But I got to tell you, November through April is idyllic. We get mostly sunny skies, blue skies, and it's just gorgeous outside, and it's like not humid. It's beautiful for half of the year. Next one on the list is our affordable home prices. I know what you're gonna say. Home prices are not affordable in Port St. Lucie. Well, no, not if you were here 20 years ago and you think home prices are gonna be the same as they were 20 years ago. Home prices went up everywhere, not just in Port St. Lucie. In Miami Shores, I used to have a house that cost me $90,000 back in 2007. Now that house is going for like almost $1 million. So prices go up everywhere. By comparison, when you compare Port St. Lucie to like Palm Beach County, Broward County, Miami-Dade County, prices are pretty affordable here. Like a brand new construction home for $500,000 with impact glass, with concrete tile roof. It's really great home prices in comparison to other cities. Another thing is that we're close to some really beautiful beaches. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say that Port St. Lucie doesn't technically have beaches, and that is correct. Technically, there are no beaches that belong to Port St. Lucie because you have to take one bridge that is in Fort Pierce to go to the beaches, like Pepper Park or the Fort Pierce Inlet State Park. Or those beaches, you have to take a bridge that goes through Fort Pierce. Or if you want to go to beaches like Jensen Beach or the Stewart Beaches or the House of Refuge, which is so beautiful, you have to take the Jensen Beach Bridge, which is technically in Martin County. That is where Martin County begins. So yeah, you're right. There's no actual beach in Port St. Lucie, but we are, from tradition or from PGA Verano, you're within, what is your problem today, little girl? You're within 25 minutes to 30 minutes max from like really gorgeous beaches. I tell you, I have been hanging out at the House of Refuge a lot lately. What is wrong with my dog? At the House of Refuge, it's so beautiful. If you find a parking spot, just pull up there and it's like, just go and veg out and see those rock formations, and just, it's really pretty. Anyway, enough said. We have beautiful beaches. Okay, technically they're not in Port St. Lucie, but it's still like a 25-minute drive to the beach is not bad. Come on, still accessible, and it's still your beach, whether you want to say it's technically Port St. Lucie or not. Another pro of living in Port St. Lucie is how far we have come with our food scene. We have really great restaurants in the area. We have the privilege of having Mr. Kyle G, which is an amazing chef and owns like, I don't know, probably 10 restaurants by now. Some of my favorite ones are the Kyle G's Prime Seafood and Steak on Jensen Beach. That location is beautiful. You will see celebrities there. It's like fine dining at its best. They have really good lobster bisque, really good steak, really good seafood. It's a beautiful location sitting right on the beach. That's one Kyle G's restaurant. He has so many. There's one that I don't like, the one in St. Lucie West. I think it used to be good, but it's not great anymore. I don't know. Comment down below what your thoughts are on that. And please comment down below what other restaurants, if you can list them, I would appreciate it in the comment section down below. What restaurants, like give me a list of all the restaurants, because I heard he opened a seafood restaurant in Stewart, which by the way, Stewart is technically in Martin County, but it's a 25-minute drive from Port St. Lucie, and there's a lot of restaurants in Port St. Lucie too. So Kyle G opened a seafood restaurant in Stewart. He opened a second or third Oak and Ember in Stewart. He's opening an Italian restaurant underneath the Heart, the big gigantic Heart in Tradition. It's called Amore or something like that. That's supposed to be really good. But there's a bunch of Kyle G's restaurants, and it's not just Kyle G. There's like a lot of really good restaurants in the area. I have to update my video that I made a couple years ago about the best places to eat in the area, because some of the places that I put in that video I don't really care for anymore, have kind of fallen off and are not doing like great food anymore. And then there's some new places that I need to include. So that'll be a fun little project that I get to go and taste some food and make a video for all of you to go check out the amazing food scene that we have in Port St. Lucie. If you have restaurants that you love, mochi. If you have restaurants that you love in Port St. Lucie, please put them down below in the comments section so that we can all go visit and judge for ourselves. Another pro of living in Port St. Lucie is the proximity to major airports. So the Palm Beach International Airport is 45 minutes from anywhere in Port St. Lucie. 45-minute drive, and it's such a great airport to fly in and out of. It's easy, especially if you're flying in and out of New York. Oh my God. Especially if you're flying in and out of, flying to New York. Going in and out of the Palm Beach International Airport is super convenient because there's like, the lines are really quick, and it's not very crowded, and it's easy to park and get in and get out. It's super great. But also, if you have to travel from the Miami International Airport, it is about a 2-hour drive. Although if you're going to the airport, for some reason, every time I have to fly out of the Miami International Airport and I give myself a couple of hours, it always ends up being a little too close for comfort. So give yourself extra time if you're going to Miami. If you hit traffic, you are going to be so stressed out, and you may miss your flight. Like it has nearly happened to us many times. Not many times, but at least a couple times. Another pro of living in Port St. Lucie is our proximity to some of the best cruise ports in the world. The Miami cruise port, oh my God, that is a destination in and of itself. It's such a beautiful place. If you're on a ship and you're exiting the port, please go outside, because it is just one of the most beautiful ports in the entire world. Then there's the cruise port in Fort Lauderdale, and there's the Port Canaveral cruise port, which is right across from the Kennedy Space Center. If there's a launch while you're on that boat, go outside and look, because it is amazing. You're gonna feel that sonic boom about a minute after the rocket goes up. You feel that like a minute later. It's like amazing. I was just able to experience that about a month ago, and I was like, oh my God, and it didn't make a sound. And then a minute later, it was like, it just hits you. It was really cool to experience, like, especially if you can go see a launch at night. Really special. But you can see the launches from Port St. Lucie. Getting completely off topic. Let's go on to the next pro about living in Port St. Lucie. Another pro about living in Port St. Lucie is that we are smack in between I-95 and the Turnpike, which is so convenient, because wherever you have to go, we're right there. Really close to both I-95 and the Turnpike. Like I say all the time, 2 hours north of Miami, less than 2 hours east of Orlando, which makes going to Disney parks like a breeze. You can literally go to Disney and sleep in your bed at night. We are 3 hours from the west coast of Florida. So if you want to go visit Tampa, Sarasota, Sanibel Island, which I highly recommend that you visit, it's a 3-hour drive. You go there, spend the weekend, and then come back. And it's just really great location. I love the location of Port St. Lucie. It's convenient to everything. Another pro is our proximity to Disney World. People come to Florida, they have kids, they have grandkids, they want to take them to Disney all the time. Well, Port St. Lucie is only 2 hours east of Orlando, so that means that's how long it will take you to go to Disney. You can literally go to Disney and sleep in your bed at night, or you can go to Disney, preferably you go spend a few days there and all the hotels and all the amazing things to do over there, and then come back. But it's like really nice to be that close and still have the beaches close by and not live in the center of Florida, which I don't know, for me is a no. I cannot fathom living far away from the beach. So living in Port St. Lucie and still being close to Disney is a huge plus. Another pro is our proximity to Miami. Being able to visit friends and family in Miami, or go to just kind of like go to a cool restaurant like Bad Bunny's restaurant, Komodo, or I don't know, any of the many amazing things to do in Miami, or go to the museums, or go whatever. There's just so many things you can go and do in Miami. To be able to spend the day there and come home and sleep in your bed is really great. So our proximity to Miami is another pro. Plus, if you're a party animal, there's not really like a big party scene here in Port St. Lucie. So being able to go to Miami for the weekend or for the day or for the evening is a plus. Another huge pro, which I should probably have done this one as the first, but one of the pros of living in Port St. Lucie is that it is consistently, year after year, named as one of the safest cities in the entire nation. Can you imagine that? We've already talked about how many cities are in the United States, 19,500 cities. And it was named the #2 safest metro area in the United States. So that's a lot to say. Port St. Lucie is safe. I don't hear of things going on. I mean, every now and then you see a car accident or you see something, or somebody will give you the middle finger in traffic or whatever, you know, but nothing really bad happens here. Not that I know of. Anyway, I'm gonna insert an article that talks about how Port St. Lucie demonstrates very low crime rate, and for the amount of people that we have, it's considered like pretty safe. Really quick, I need to add a couple more pros that I just thought of as I was having lunch. Golf is a golf is a huge thing here. Lots of great golf courses, so if you like golf, you will love it here. And pickleball is a huge thing, and so is fishing. So golf, pickleball, and fishing, huge pros. I'm editing this video and I realized I forgot one of the most important things, and it is that Port St. Lucie is considered one of the happiest cities in the entire country. We're rated number 24 as far as happiness goes. And I think it's attributed to the weather and the proximity to the beach and all the pros that I listed in this video. But yeah, that's really important, and I felt I really wanted to add that. Number 24, happiest city in the entire country. I'm really happy about that. I'm really proud and just delighted that I live here. So those were all the pros about living in Port St. Lucie, and here are the 4 cons. You ready? The first con is traffic. People complain about there being a lot of traffic in Port St. Lucie. It just depends on who you are and where you came from. Keep in mind, I'm a Miami girl, so I was used to a lot of traffic. I know what traffic is, you know? If you're from New York, you know what traffic is. If you came to Port St. Lucie 20 years ago because you wanted to live in a sleepy town, there was no traffic here. There was no people here. There was nothing here. So you've been here that long, and now you're seeing all these people coming in, and you're like, oh, there's a lot of traffic. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of traffic. But as compared to big cities, I don't consider Port St. Lucie to have a lot of traffic. I mean, it's like normal traffic, but if you want a city to grow, which I do, I'm super happy about the growth, then it comes with some kind of traffic. Like for me, yes, I understand it's a con for some people, but for me, it's like, it's not that bad. It's well worth living here. It's not that bad. Another con is the taxes. People complain about the taxes being high. And yes, I have to agree with that. Port St. Lucie has some of the highest taxes in the state of Florida. Not the highest by any means. There are definitely cities and counties that have higher taxes than we do, but I'll give you a little idea. It's about 1.8% of whatever your house gets assessed at. So if your house was $500,000, it'll get assessed at 80% of that. So whatever, 460. I don't know if that's the right math or not. But then you'll get, your taxes will be about 1.8% of that 80% of your house. Anyway, I can't quote you taxes because it varies greatly, house to house, neighborhood to neighborhood. Just so you know, if you feel your taxes are high, you can appeal to the property appraiser's office. And I think this year is going to be a really good year to appeal because comps are a little lower than they were in previous years. So I think you can appeal and get your taxes to come down a little bit. But anyway, yeah, taxes are a little higher, but home prices are a lot lower than most places. So another con is the humidity. Okay, so November through April is like not zero humidity, but it's very good. It's like you don't feel the humidity as much. However, May through October probably is killer. Like the humidity is killer. This hair will be like really crazy. You see some of my YouTube videos where my hair is absolutely insane. It's probably, I was filming in the summer. So, oh my God. So, yeah, the humidity is definitely a con here, but like most of the, a lot of the New Yorkers that live here are snowbirds and they leave for those months anyway. But yeah, I mean, you get used to it as a Floridian. I don't know anything else. I would take the humidity all day, every day over the snow. I go on vacation to New York and it's snowing and it's cute for like a few minutes. And then after that, I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. It feels like torture. And I don't like the gray skies and the just like not being able to go outside. You know, here you're able to go outside in the summer. You can at least go out in the morning and go out for a run, go out for a walk and not feel like dying because it's always cool in the morning. Even in the summer, it feels cool enough in the morning where you can go out for a walk and it's not like gonna kill you. Another con, I mean, which was one of my pros, but this is a con for some people, is the home prices. Home prices are not what they used to be 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you could come to Port St. Lucie and you could buy a house for $150,000, a really great house. But that's not the case anywhere anymore. If it goes up in Port St. Lucie, you better believe it's going up in Palm Beach County and going up in Miami-Dade County as well. It goes up evenly everywhere. And as compared to other cities, we are still really affordable. So that's it. Those are my pros and my few cons for living in Port St. Lucie. Overall, I love living here. I could live anywhere. And I choose to live here. I especially love my community. I especially love new construction. So yeah, I'm like a new construction specialist. I've been focused on new construction for like the past 6 years. And so I have a lot of information that I can give you and help you to maximize your incentives and to save money if you're on any kind of budget, save money with new construction. So call me at this number right here. I would love to get to know you and help you plan your visit to Florida and plan your visit to Port St. Lucie. Oh my gosh, before you make a decision, come take a look at this place. It's really pretty. It's just a pleasure to live. Remember, we're the 24th happiest city in the entire United States. That is a mouthful. So come and see for yourself. Have a very happy day and share this video with anyone you know that might be looking to move to Florida. My name is Sonsire Gonzalez, a realtor in a beautiful, amazing, spectacular Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thanks for watching.